everyone, if you were watching my channel yesterday, you know I did a video analysis of this crash, and I wanted to follow up with some additional facts this time. First off, I wanted to make a comparison of this to AutoPilot and the type of vehicle it was driving as compared to a Tesla, because a lot of people are not familiar with that. So let's start first of all and mention that this vehicle was a Volvo XC90. It was a regular SUV, gasoline powered. It was not ever designed to be self-driving, and what it had was an Uber system mounted to the top or to the sides of it. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think a lot of it's on the top. And this Uber self-driving system is designed to assist a driver. And that's different than, I believe, the Tesla AutoPilot system, which the driver is assisting the system. So this was an experimental system. This was done with Uber under permission by the state of Arizona. And the U.S. government has a voluntary program that these self-driving companies can enroll in. And unfortunately, Uber did not ever enroll in that program. They were doing this outside of the government program, just so you know. There are other companies such as GM and there are others that are within this government voluntary program, and Uber is not. And because of that, there may have been, I don't know, some regulations that they weren't complying with. Who knows? But it appears here that there's a total system failure, because on a lot of these vehicles, especially even the Volvo, they have automatic emergency braking and things like that. You figure that would have happened here, and it's been obvious too, and I've checked different sources. This vehicle did nothing to stop hitting this driver. In no way did it slow down or attempt to slow down. So there's a complete system failure on the Uber side, and any other automatic safety features that were in the vehicle, I guess, were disabled because of this Uber system. So there were a lot of issues there. And then the other issue is that the driver itself, and we'll see that in the interior view, was not paying attention. The driver was looking down, maybe their phone, the dash, I don't know, looking down again, looking down, and all of a sudden you see, looks up at one point and whoa. But by that time, it's too late. So these are the facts in terms of what happened. And unfortunately, we don't know any more right now. And by the way, I also believe that this video may have been altered. If you look very carefully at it, I mentioned this in my previous video analysis, that there's a blacked out area. See, this area right in here is all blacked out. It's probably to conceal the identity of the person, which I would think that they would definitely want to do that. I don't think this blacked out area was seen in the vehicle. I think that the driver was probably able to see a lot more from the headlights than this shows. And also keep in mind that even if the headlights were off, the systems that are self-driving should have been able to determine that something was there. They do on just about any car. So you don't necessarily need full lighting to determine if objects are there. And of course, you know how computers crash and other things go wrong. You would want to have some kind of fail-safe backup system. So whatever fail-safe backup systems they even have, apparently the base systems weren't even running correctly, because as you can see, there is no reaction at all by the vehicle. Now, I also pointed this out before. You can kind of see, I think that's the pedestrian looking back at the driver at the vehicle. But at that point, I guess there's nothing they can do. Although she didn't even stop at that point. It was a woman that was struck, who was illegally crossing in an area where obviously pedestrians weren't supposed to cross. Yeah, she may have seen it at the last second, but it was too late. There was nothing you could do. And this was a big, heavy SUV. Unfortunately, there just was no surviving that, really, unfortunately. So anyway, that's my follow-up here. I will continue to post more as I have more, as I learn more about this. I'm sure we'll keep focusing on this, because this is important to the future of self-driving vehicles, self-driving technologies. And again, this is not a Tesla that was designed almost from the ground up to be a self-driving vehicle. This was something that was, kind of retrofitting. That's the best way to describe it. This is a retrofit of an existing gasoline vehicle that was not ever designed to be a self-driving vehicle from the factory. That's what this was. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more variables there. And whoever is designing the systems obviously had a few errors here, a few mistakes, and just an error or two will cause something like this. I can't try to get this thing to reboot. It is not replaying. But look, I've got an error right now. See, if you have an error like this, I guess this is part of the problem. If you have an error when the vehicle is driving, you need to be able to recover from that or something. And in this case, I suppose, the pedestrian was completely in the wrong. There's no question about that. The driver was completely in the wrong. There's no question about that. Driver was distracted. But the systems still should have been able to take over and at least make an attempt to get out of the situation. Oh, and by the way, the last little bit of information, this happened at about 40 miles an hour. So at 40 miles an hour, there should have been plenty of time to react. And if an impact did occur, it would only be a minor one. I know I've slammed on the brakes before at speeds like that, and I have hit things, but I've hit them at such a slow speed that virtually nothing happened. And the same could have happened here. So unfortunately, we failed on all levels, but the computer, if this is considered self-driving, should have had its own fail-safe systems and reacted. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Thanks for watching.